So the right here, find another pair right here, 25, 5, 10, 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 17, 15, 20, 17, 20, and 15, baby, get 20, 17, 17, and 15, 17 and a half, 15, baby, get 17, and 15, baby, get 17, 15, so $15 right here, another pair, 10, 5, 10, and 5, 15, another one, 10, another one, 10, 10, now 15, and 10, 15, now 15, 10, 15, and 10, 12, and 15, and 12, 15, 15, 12, 15.
How's it going, guys? I want to wish you guys a happy new year. 2020 is here already. My last video, I made a comment in it. Hope to find some good watches in the coming year, 2020. And what do you know? The first day, January 1st, I ended up coming across a Grail type watch. There's three type of watches or my Holy Grail type pieces for me. One would be any type of Rolex. Number two would probably be an Omega Speedmaster, and three would be a triple date chronograph. And what do you know, today I ended up finding one. I did pay up. As you can see, I paid $350 for the watch. The story was, I went to an auction today. It was about 45 minutes away or so. I noticed online there was a box of watches, and from the pictures it looked like there could have been a vintage chronograph in there. More times than not, 99% of the time you see a picture far away, it's just some quartz type piece from a couple years old that's really not worth anything. But surprisingly, I go there and it's a legit vintage chronograph triple date. There was one other guy there that I thought would know what this watch was, and surprisingly he did not even bid on it. Unfortunately, there was one other guy there that knew what this watch was and bid me up to $350, and I ended up getting the watch, but the auctioneer had no clue the value, and like I said, this wasn't a box of watches on the back table. No one was even watching it, so I made sure I kept an eye on it to make sure it wasn't stolen. But yeah, I ended up getting this watch for $350. I'll kind of show you guys the auction zip listing and what this looked like. So this is an auction zip listing and all the different photographs. So this is this is what I found when I got to the auction. Obviously they spread all the watches out for the photograph, but when I showed up they were all jumbled up, and this is what I saw. And then right up here, this is the watch. So here it is. It's actually working. It's a 1974 Walkman. You can see the triple date, date, and month. So the crystal has some scratches on it. It's not perfect. Runs fast, and you can see it's missing a pusher, but it looks like it has the original crown, a Walkman, and this is the back of the watch. It has a lot of fingerprints, stuff like that on it. But I've always wanted this type of watch, and to find one today, January 1st, that's quite amazing. So, like I said, sometimes you do have to pay up, and something like this, I don't mind spending $350 on the watch because I knew it was a great deal. These watches are very expensive. So, another thing is I did not have a tool to remove the back on that, so I knew 95% chance it was a legit good watch. I was just kind of worried when I got back home I would take the back off and it was some type of Frankenstein watch. but it looked good to me. And I actually, I'm a member of a vintage watch forum on Facebook, and there's guys from all over the world that are on there. And I showed detailed photographs of the movement, and had multiple people tell me that it was a legit watch. The movement's actually called a Valjoux 72C. So I did an eBay search of a similar type watch. So this is a similar watch that I have. This one is actually missing 2 of the pushers, and this is a Walkman chronograph. Looks like they're not sure if it's a 730 or 72C, but as you can see, it sold for $1,100. So that's the similar watch I have. So looks like I'm on the good side of $800 profit on the watch if I decide to sell it, but it's something I'm going to keep. I did have a watchmaker on the forum give me an estimate on to completely redo the watch, service, add another pusher, do all the gaskets, and replace the crystal. And he gave me an estimate between $300 and $500. So it looks like if I would do something like that, it increases the value of the watch to around $2,000, probably $1,800 to $2,500 range for this watch. So, but it's something I'm not going to realize that type of profit. I'm going to end up keeping this watch for my personal collection and end up passing it down to one of my sons. So that was the first stop of the today, and the second stop we went to another auction and ended up spending $188.32. The $10 was just a vintage stool we're using as a plant stand, and I'll show you real quick the other 2 items I bought. These are just going to be for our personal use in our residence, but they're really cool. We'll take it back. The dollar model, I think I'll end up selling that on eBay. It's a 1/8 scale Jaguar, and I think I can probably get $50 for that. So here's what I picked up today. This is the Jaguar model, and it's partially built. But I did a search on eBay. It looks like these sell for, they call them junkyard lots, and I should get around $50 for this. So that'll help pay for the stuff we decide to keep today. And these are the really two cool pieces I ended up coming across today. I saw this in the photos, and when I got there I saw this boat. It's really interesting. It looks to be probably a model kit, or it may have been just handmade. But it's all wood, and you can see the detail on it. It's just amazing. And this is over 3 feet long. So you can see the detail on it. Yeah, it's actually a remote control. So if I can take the top of it off, as you can see, it has all the motors and the receivers inside. I think the mechanics alone are worth the $65. So if I decide just to, gut it and sell the mechanical part should I easily bring back the $65 and just keep the boat itself as a display piece. So again, I only paid $65 for the boat, and I think that's a great deal. And then end up seeing this there. This came from an antique store that went out of business, and this is a antique trunk. Had a couple people tell me they think it's from the 1800s. So it has some original paint on it, and to me it looks like these handles are probably hand forged, probably by a blacksmith. So this is the trunk. Again, another piece we're going to keep. So some really interesting pieces I came across today, being January 1st, and kind of hit the jackpot right on the first day. So I shot a little video of the movement, and I'll add that at the end of the video here. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time, and hope you guys have a good new year. Thank you. I took the case back off just to show you guys the movement on this watch. Just beautiful. I'm a member of a vintage watch forum, so I did take photographs of this and posted it on there just to make sure it is a legitimate Walkman Breitling watch, and all the comments coming back saying it is a legit vintage chronograph triple date. So this is the movement as it's going.